What's up, everybody? Gibson's Lawn Service checking. I want to give y'all this story real quick. Why I deposited this check. Client gave me a check. Gibson, my laptop is down. Look, as y'all read the title, Gibson I have canceled. Gibson I have canceled. I was thinking back to a client I had. Look, I used to drive 30 minutes one way to do two properties, two $25 properties. Once every 3 weeks, St. Augustine grass. And I was going over there to let the client go. I said, yeah, I'm gonna have to let them go. Cut the property. I said, yeah, when they come outside, I'm gonna let them know I can't maintain this for y'all no more. They came out. I said, how you doing, Miss Bill? We just using Bill as a name. How you doing, Miss Bill? Gibson I have canceled. I said, dang. I know, Gibson, it's gonna be all right. I wasn't saying dang that they got canceled. I was saying, dang, I can't fire them. And I know what y'all thinking. Man, that's a cruel way to think. See, in business, you have to leave your heart at the house. You have to leave your heart at the house. I was cutting her property and I was cutting her son's property. $25 a piece. Every 3 weeks. In the son property, I couldn't get my mower in the back. I had to push mow his backyard. You talking about miserable. And look, I remember I told a guy at work, I said, man, I was gonna let such and such property go. He said, what happened? I said, man, they said they got canceled. He said, oh, man, yeah, you don't want to do that, bro. That's what he told me. Oh, man, you don't want to do that, bro. So I secretly suffered. And I know what y'all thinking. How you suffering? You ain't the one with cancer. Business, man. See, me saying this sound bad. So, man, look, I remember like it was yesterday. Loading up my 5x10 trailer. Jumping in my truck with no AC with the windows down, riding on the interstate like this with the wind blowing, saying to myself, I'm going out of business. Man, I would cut that whole property. I had to triple cut it. It was a tri-weekly yard. Yeah, it was a tri-weekly yard. But I'm over there with my little 42-inch X-Mark with that little 23 horses, triple cutting the property. And I remember like it was yesterday. The son called me. Mike, can you cut my mother's yard? She won't be with us much longer. I went over there, and they wasn't even on the schedule. They had, this was a spot, now remember that I was going in 3 weeks. They had wanted me to come a week early. I said, oh man, it's all right. They let me come a week early. Man, I told them, I said, I'd be there at 6 in the morning. I remember cutting that whole property at 6 in the morning. When it done the sons. And she ended up passing. When she passed, it was over with. I said, yeah, he fired. When she passed, I said, yeah, he fired. This dude waited to 5 weeks before he called me back. 5 weeks. Man, that St. Augustine grass, that mower was doing this. Oh. You know, all I had was a residential mower. You raise that deck all the way up on a residential mower, it's only going about 3.5 inches. Boy, I had to slowly try cut that whole yard. Slowly. And it was dead grass all over the place. The junk was that thick and my mower only went that high. So I had to cut it so slow. And I remember when I met him up. See, then he ended up, I knew what he was doing. He moved out that shack he was living in. Then he moved into his mother's house, which is a bigger house. And I remember, I said, yeah, man, I ain't gonna be able to come on this side no more. I gave him some lame excuse. He said, well, can you cut it for me one more time before you leave? I said, all right, just let me know when you want me to cut it. He called me back in 2 weeks. I said, he should have been doing this. I went back in 2 weeks. He finally paid me while I was working. He paid me 60 for his and 60 for that one. 120. And he came outside, Mr. Gibson, please don't leave. The whole time he been playing me. The whole time he been complaining me. When Mrs. Bill walked out that front door and I was fixing the fire, and she said, Gibson, I have cancer. Something inside me, when she said that, only thing I seen was my hands getting put behind my back and somebody putting the cuffs on me. That's what I felt. That's what I felt. When I remember, hey, Miss Bill, how you doing? I was about to drop the hammer. Gibson, I have cancer. When she said that, I literally felt somebody doing this. Put your hands behind your back and click. That's literally what it felt like. Bondage. Leave your heart at home. Man, bro, that's wrong to say. Leave your heart at home. This is business. Man, I will never subject myself to such foolery ever again as long as I'm out here cutting grass. Oh, man.